I can hear him.
You can hear me, right, Andy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, hold on.
And why am I this way and you're this way?
Side.
Yeah, you're sideways. Why is Andy sideways?
No, you're sideways.
Do I need to put my phone in like this?
No, Lisa said you had to put it that way.
I won't fit.
We might have to call you back.
I'm going to send a new link.
Well, you're sideways, so
Yeah, and you're sideways,
on,
so
let
I
me-
don't know
No,
what's
you're
going on.
sideways.
Radio waves scream, shark tales break the quiet night. Andy and Sean in the spotlight, legends of the dirt track fight. Dust clouds on Placerville crown, engines roar, the California bound. Sprint cars fly round and round, champions never back down.
Well, it's week 5, and clearly we still don't know what we're doing. Sent another link to Andy, but it only recorded our audio. So you're welcome. You aren't stuck looking at us. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Let's
Yeah.
talk racing. So for once, we get to talk about you racing.
Yeah, I finally
Amazing.
got to race, so we get to, whole chat about how our weekend went. So, but dude, seriously, 4 wins before April.
I
Have you
know.
done that before?
I'm going to say offhand, I don't think so, but maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
when you've raced for 7,000 years, I mean, some things do happen, but yeah, we're batting 500 right now, which is an amazing stat in racing, right? I mean, if you have a 10% win average, that's pretty good in racing. So to be at 50% at this point, kind of fun.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you could have had another one, but you let some high school kid pick your pocket and lap traffics.
Yeah, you
Mm.
can't win them all, I guess. Sure, they'll try. But last night was definitely, on paper, it was probably a night I should win. I mean, there wasn't a ton of people there that there was 24 cars. Not a ton of them have feature wins. So, I mean, you look at, on paper, and I'm not sitting here saying,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go in and win because I'm so good. But statistically, you look at a piece of paper and you're like, well, this is what should happen. Cox had an engine issue. He's won some races there. And basically after that, it was up to me to just not dick it up.
Yeah, just saw my race pass at the end of the night, and it was an interesting podium, like Carson Thomas and Seth Stanley. Like, that's career nights for them, especially for Placerville Point Show
Yeah.
is always legit. And if you can
They're
get a top
hard.
3, like, I bet those guys were really celebrating that with the team. Like, that's a good night.
Yeah, it's I mean, their names, like you said, like Thomas and Stanley, you may not put them on a list of like well, these are ballers, but when you start rolling around Placerville week after week, you kind of quietly become a baller there just because you gotta have your shit together at Placerville.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had 29 cars, but like you said, X1 was there, Colby Copeland, like he was in the 7C in Placerville, but he was in Charlton car here, had Austin Wood. So yeah, a lot of guys that ran
Max
Placerville
Mitry
the week before.
was
There you
Mitry was
go.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
all the guys that beat me last week left, so I was able to improve 6 spots last night because they all
Yeah.
left.
good job. Yeah, that's how it works out. I
That's
love
called
it when it works out in your
strategery.
favor.
And I
Perfect.
started in the front row again too. So I was the 7th person to draw, and there was a 2 and a 3 left. So I had a 50-50 chance at row 1 or row 2, and I pulled the 2.
Good job, Andy. You're just a master at that.
Okay, so you roll into Tulare. How's everything look? What are we feeling? Are we happy? Things look good, prepped?
Yeah. So the last few years, I feel like when we go to Tulare, like it doesn't have much water on the track, so it's usually pretty ready to go, and then it gets like pretty slicked off by qualifying. So yeah, interesting thing, Andy. Like I was thinking about this because I feel like Chico has always been like fairly easy track to qualify on. We spent our whole careers there, and the track always is super greasy for hot laps. And then it works in, and then you're just matted down
Yeah.
full throttle trying. And then, but like when the outlaw comes, it would slick off and like get a curve, and it would be tricky and
Treacherous.
yeah. So Chico will get a weird curve sometimes and make it a little difficult, but for the most part, you're just matted down, wide open around there, trying to make as smooth laps as you can. But you go to these tracks, and especially Tulare, when it slicks off, and especially down the straightaways, I felt like I was good in the corners, but down the straightaways, the ass is going back and forth. Your tank slapping because it's so slick and the tires are buzzing. We turned 9,600 RPMs.
Oh, damn.
Qualifying. Yeah. And it was really funny because Brad was telling me, so man, when Sanders went out, like he's just buzzing the tires down the whole straightaway. And like you, it looked like the car was kind of under you. And I'm like, well, I felt like I was fishtailing. He's all, no, you looked good. He's all, maybe you just got to mash it. And then he saw the tack. He's like, yeah, don't disregard what I said because we don't want to turn any more R's than we did.
Well, and that's a tricky thing as a driver. And I guess if we were really, really good and professionals at this, maybe Brad would be someone to talk to. But you almost want to lift to get the tires back underneath you or hit a little brake, but you're under the clock. I mean, that's something you might do racing, but under qualifying times, all you know is, like you said, mat it and hope like hell you time in good.
Yeah.
So lifting during qualifying is not like in our brain.
Absolutely. And I felt horrible in hot laps, but I think that was on me. We only basically got 2 laps because the track was already there.
The old green, white checker.
Exactly. And I think I was entering too low and just dicking up the arc of the corner, basically. So I'm all right. I got in my head for qualifying. I know what I'll do. And we were decent in hot laps time wise, but I was still like a few tenths off. And then I went around in the second lap. I felt like especially in the corners, I'm like, all right, I greased that one. That one felt great. And then I was only a tenth faster than I was in hot laps. So I'm like, damn it. Like I thought I felt way better. And then I ran over to try to watch the rest of qualifying. And like, I could not gauge like what I was watching from what the times would be. Cause one guy would blow through the curb and get up by the wall and he turned 3/10 slower than me. And the next guy would blow through the curb and almost hit the wall. And then he was a tenth faster than me. So I'm like, I really couldn't tell one or the other. And then Brad Sweet, he's just been spanking us this year so far, but he's the last car out, goes out there, and I finally was kind of gauging like the guys who were up on the track, high in the curb, they were kind of turning the best times. Like times were dropping off, but there was still turning decent times, like barely getting me in qualifying. And then he goes out and he was like a little lower than everybody, but the car's not doing anything weird, but it didn't look fast. So I'm like, oh, this first lap, he's not going to be happy with. And it was quick time.
Tulare is like a tough track because there's about 7 different options.
Yes.
Every time you go there.
It's
like you
true,
said, Chico,
yeah.
we pretty much know what we're going to do. Placerville, all these tracks are the same. But Tulare, like you said, there's just so many options. And the fact that like you or I don't go there that often, it's like, we don't know the options.
So yeah, well, Brad didn't look special, like, but he was faster than everybody, both laps. So yeah. I mean, that's just a professional race car driver right there. Like it's super impressive. But interesting thing for the format though, Andy. So we
3
had
heats,
29 cars.
Hey, we caught on
3
to that.
heats.
Yes.
So we were at the drivers' meeting and he's kind of going through his spiel and basically said, yeah, well, got 3 heats, guys, taking 6. And then I'm walking to the trailer and I'm thinking, I'm all 3 heats. And I walk in and Lisa's there. I'm all, what's the cutoff for 4 heat to 3 heat format? So 24 cars. I'm like, well, we got 29 and we're 3 heats. And so she looked it up on her phone. So I don't know if she looked up the high limits or NARC, which I think they're kind of doing the same. She looked up high limit rules and they go 3 heats until 32 cars. And then they do 4 heats and they also split the field. So that was the first time I ever heard that. But think about that. If there's 31 cars, you have an 11 car heat race and 2 10 car heat races. Like that's a lot of cars in a heat race.
Yeah.
So that new format kind of like surprised me. Brad, talking to my crew chief, Brad Bumgarner, he was kind of mentioned, he's all, I wonder if this is like their way of condensing the show, like not putting an extra race on the track. And the race, I think we only go 8 laps and usually like NARC shows or SCCT, they usually add the laps on for heat races.
Yeah, I think
but
we do 10 laps.
I was surprised in my heat race when the white flag did come out. So I'm all, that was quick. So
So it's
I don't know.
interesting you bring that up because I think you and I are getting pretty savvy with efficient shows and like how to make things better. We had 24 cars last night and we ran 4 6-car heat
6-car heat
races,
races.
which
Yeah.
I'm not personally a fan of as far as thinking what we need to do to make the show better. It's like, do we really need to see 4 6-car heat races?
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So, and if that is indeed the reason why they're trying to do a condensed program, efficient show, go to 3 heat races. Like, if that's the reasoning, then maybe that might be the way to go.
It
Tough to
screws
say.
you though. I mean, you could have used 4 heats last night with your qualifying lap, right?
That's the thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, we qualified 11, so that would have put us on the front row.
Yeah.
But 3 heats, so now I'm second row inside. So
I'll tell you what, though, that definitely makes life a lot tougher if they only do 3 heats. That makes qualifying so much more important.
But even 32 car field where they split the field, like qualifying still
Yeah.
even tougher because like even though you're qualifying against half the people, and I know high limits, they shuffle the field how they feel is like consistent or fair,
The
basically.
algorithm to make it the perfect hardness on both groups.
Right. So, I mean, you do half the field with tough competition, like you still, I mean, you just got to get up on the wheel every single
Yeah.
time and you have to be good. And that's just, it is what it is at this point. So,
Just be Brad Sweet. That's like Tom Brady coming to your local like flag football league. It'd be kind of cool to play flag football with Tom Brady or Michael Jordan came and played with your rec league basketball team, right? I mean, it's like he's killing us, but is it fun? I don't. It's like I don't know.
So,
What do
Miami
you have to do to make the pull of the dash with NARC? Are they doing a pill or a wheel or?
I would love to tell you if I knew because I haven't been in a dash draw yet. But before, yeah, the last few years, it was always one guy would draw one pill and they inverted your qualifying time. But it seemed to me that the heat winners and the fastest qualifiers, they all went to the board as a group. So I think they individually drew.
Randomly blew. Okay.
I think so. So that's my guess anyway. So we were chat GPTing like a logo for us. And yeah, we were trying to tweak. Like we put a picture of ourselves in there, but you didn't look like
good.
you.
Yeah, I was wrong. You look great.
It made no sense. And then we kept tweaking it.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, but speaking of Mia, we kind of got it worked out to where you look good now. You look like you, but now I don't look very good. But then we got Mia in there too, and it was like front and center on the whole thing. I'm like, oh, Andy's gonna love this. And then the next version, they changed Mia completely. I'm like,
She usually like a shaggy mid-sized dog.
yeah, it's been a struggle bus trying to
Well, I
figure it
appreciate you
out.
guys doing that because I don't know how to do that shit. So thank you.
Well, yeah, we're trying anyway, but yeah,
So
it's
in
been
case,
entertaining.
let's just drop this tidbit. There's going to be a really cool race this summer that we're going to be the ballers at. And so we need a logo for it.
Yeah, and we're working on it. So stay tuned to find out when and where.
Okay, so backtrack to what we talked about last week about qualifying laps and thinking you did good and thinking you did bad.
Yeah.
So I did get in the 5s last night, so I was happy about
saw
that.
Yeah.
Still third quick. Jake Hout still set quick time. Only when I'm there, I guess, is when he's allowed to set fast time.
You bring out the best in them.
Yeah, I know. So if I would have bet my right arm, my second lap was the better lap. I was not happy with my first lap. Pissed me off how I got in turn 3. The car, I had to fight the car. Lap 2, that was my good lap. Nope.
Opposite.
Yep. Absolutely.
I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, because then how do you gauge in a race? Like you feel like, oh, that felt like a good lap. How do you? We don't know. We don't
I guess
know.
if you
After all
think it's
these years.
good, don't do it.
I guess so.
Or do it. I don't know anymore.
So frustrating. But yeah, any problems in the main? Like I just saw the very end of it, and you had a 3.4 second lead. So that, I mean, were you that good? Any lap traffic struggles or anything?
Yes, we got into traffic twice, slightly. Lots of cautions. All the main events except the stock car main event last night. the mini trucks, the hunt sprints, and our main events, a lot of cautions. It wasn't the best night of racing as far as what we're always talking about, or what I'm always talking about, cracking the whip, efficiency. Yeah, I mean, I just got up top and I did my thing. I'm not going to say it was easy, but I mean, clean air is everything.
Yes.
We were so, like you said, oh my God, you got a 3-second, 4-second lead. You must have been so good. We were exactly the same amount of goodness as I was last Saturday. I just started in the front row and I had clean air.
Yeah. No, that makes a huge difference for sure.
I was rolling and I could see lot traffic and they were kind of doing what I needed them to do. And it was still hard. I mean, it was dirty and dusty and shit flying through the car. And it was like, man, this was so much easier when I had nobody in front of me.
Yeah.
So it totally put me back to last week when I was going from 8th to 5th and how hard that was.
Yeah.
And God, clean air is so nice.
Yeah, and because there's sometimes like when you're stuck back there, you're like, oh, I guess we were a fifth place car. Well, you could have been a car to win. Like it's just starting position like changes everything, really.
Yeah, it makes your life a lot easier. So an interesting thing is, I had a pretty good visual of the crowd. We had a good crowd last night, and when I push down on the track, I always park in turn 3 so I can I look up into the grandstands, and people had started to leave before our sprint car main event last night.
Huh.
And
Was
we
it
weren't that late. I would say our sprint car main got on the track around 10. So it wasn't like it was like 10:45. So I messaged Gary Thomas. I said, Gary, I mean, you got a pretty good pulse on what goes on up there. I mean, what did you think of the crowd? He said, yeah, absolutely. People started leaving. And he noticed at about 9:00. It doesn't really matter.
Wow.
He will see people trickling out about 9:00.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting because we're talking about what's it going to take to get new fans at the track. Got to be done by 9.
So I'll be racing SCCT opener, Placerville, with you. Finally get a race with you. I don't think we've raced together yet this year. No.
That'll potentially be my 10th race, and we have not raced together.
Yeah, that's crazy. That usually never happens. Usually we're always at the same track together.
Yeah, you were in the 2SB and I was in the X1. I mean, we raced almost every Saturday together and we didn't know it.
Yeah. All right.
We were arch enemies.
Yes, we were. Couldn't stand you.
Sean would park. I remember Sean would be parked on the other side of the pits and he would walk by me and look across. He'd be going like this.
Yeah. With my burrito.
He would be intimidating me.
Did you get to look or watch any of the Tulare race?
Not much, honestly.
So you should go back and watch the non-wing race.
Oh, really?
They did their main right before us and had Blake Bauer kind of leading the first portion of the race. Then Burnell was coming, then Ricky Lewis, and then they started throwing haymakers. And big shout out to Bradley Kennedy. He was the announcer there, and he was going ape shit up there. And
whoa, you didn't say shit.
No, I didn't.
I think you said dick earlier too. So I am definitely rubbing off on you in a positive manner.
Ah, dang it. Allison will cut that out.
Allison, don't cut that out.
But he was pumped up, and like anytime there was a yellow, like, crowd, get on your feet. Give these guys a hand as they come down the front straightaway. Like he was living his best life, and it was a good race. So then interesting thing at the very end, I'll spoil something for you. So there's red flag. Ricky Lewis, I mean, he was full send the whole time. And if you're trying to beat Ryan Burnell at Tulare in a non-wing, you have to be full send. And he was throwing sliders left and right. Well, then kind of got dicked up and was trying to catch back up to Burnell. Got into the wall, flipped over. Blake Bauer's right behind him, hits him, comes to a stop. And at that point, there was like 6 laps to go. I said, okay, I should probably start getting into my car because we're the next A main. So I'm in there. I got my radio on. It takes a while, obviously, to clean up. But then they start pushing off, and then I hear the the scorekeeper saying, 3F, you were involved in that yellow. You did not stop to avoid the wreck. You were part of the wreck.
We piled into it.
Yes, we had to pull you away from the wreck.
Nice
you were
try.
involved. You need to go to the back. So then give it a few minute or two. Then Scott Woodhouse gets on there, said, 3F. If you don't go to the back, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, we're going to DQ you. You won't get paid, and we're just going to checker this race right now. So give it another minute beat or whatever. He's all right, guys, checkered flag. You can take the 3F for this.
No way.
So they didn't finish the last 6 laps of their A main because Blake Bauer was throwing a fit because he didn't think he should be involved in that wreck.
Oh,
So,
that makes me very mad.
yeah, so I I'm in my car, so I don't get to see what the fans are seeing, but yeah, it was kind of uh, not like it was such a fun race, and like I mean, it definitely sucked for him. Like the 2 guys that were challenging for the lead just got out of the race, but he still had a chance to go to the back and try to do something fun or cool getting through the field, but oh, just he couldn't handle it.
My mouth is dry just thinking about this, what you're telling me right now, because I mean, this guy, I don't know Blake Bowers and I wasn't there. I'm going by what you told me,
Right.
but he just manipulated what was going on for thousands of people. I don't know how the
Yeah.
crowd was there, what kind of people. Now I got a damn airplane on me. It's like Pearl Harbor happened. Sorry. But that's what these drivers need to understand. And Brad talks about this all the time about the selfishness of us drivers and how it's become all about me on the West Coast. That's a perfect example of one individual changing the entire event
Yeah.
for that entire complex of Tulare, the fans, the officials, the racers, the families.
Yeah.
That makes me sick.
Yeah. It's that mentality of I feel like I got screwed. I need to get justified. I
And
don't care.
I'm gonna fuck the whole show up
Yeah.
to prove my point.
Right. So I mean,
I don't know. I'm
hopefully,
not a USTS official, but that might warrant someone not racing at my events for a night or two.
yeah, we'll see what happens down the road. But yeah, it was an unfortunate way to end what was a really exciting A main event for the nominee
Wow.
show.
So let me ask you this: do you remember who would have been in second to contend with Burnell?
Well, Brody, I, I think his name was Brody Graham, but he was in like the Brody Fusion car, the 51, and I think Carrick might have been in third at that point. So, and Carrick gets
Oh,
around
Carrick
in
did double
modeling.
duty again.
Yeah, Carrick and
God,
Burnell, they both did double duty. So
those guys are glutton for punishment, man.
no, they're
I
after
used
it.
to do that shit too, man. And I
Yeah,
always
Brody Graham and then Tanner Carrick, they would have been next in line. So yeah, ruined their shot because and that Brody kid, like he, as they were battling for the lead, like he started coming, so like he had speed. I don't know if I mean, is regardless, it's going to be hard to get
yeah.
Ryan Burnell, but still, like you have a shot, you have 6 laps to do it. Like, give me the shot. Don't cancel my race.
I don't know. I got to stop thinking and talking about that. That's just crazy. I'll have to
Yeah.
ask. I'll have to ask my promoter friend that owns Narc now what he thinks of actions like that. I always go to Brad honestly to kind of get a professional, like been there, done that. Like I have my knee jerk reaction, like oh my god, what would I do? What should be done? It'd be interesting to see what Brad has to say because he opens my eyes up in different ways sometimes.
Got a group text for NARC, basically like thanking everybody for our patience. Like 3 classes was probably too much. We're gonna do our best to like let the promoters know, hey, we only need 1 support class with our NARC series. Like if you can, please try to limit that. They're gonna remove like the 305s the next time we go to Tulare, but I felt that was very appreciative of like them throwing out this text, like thanking all the teams for coming and hey, we realized it was a long night for you guys, and I know there was procedural stuff on their end that they feel like they can clean up, and we're going to be better for this next race. And I think they're said they want to hold another meeting just to kind of have an open forum to any suggestions from other teams that might help the show or whatever go along. So but yeah, this open communication, like they're really trying to kind of involve all the race teams and car owners and drivers and whatnot and try to make it better for everybody. So
I will say
yeah.
this, and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I've never been involved with a night of racing that involved the 305s that I left going, boy, that was a fun night. Sorry, I'm a dick.
Yeah. Did they take forever?
Yeah, they took like in the heat races, took a while.
That is true. Like me and Travis, like we were.
There's only 14 of them.
Yeah, there's only 14 of them, but yeah, one of the heat races, it seemed like there was a yellow every other lap. And it's like, what are we doing here? But I mean, it is like kind of like a
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're fucking up the show.
yeah, maybe. I mean, it's supposed to be like the introductive class and try to like get better, and maybe you'll graduate to the 360s like that Ryan Rocha kid. Like he was battling you for the win at Chico. Like he kind of came from 305s. Like you talked like, yeah, I don't know if he's won a race. Like I know he's definitely won 305 races like
Yeah.
Hanford and stuff like that. But yeah, you're probably right. He might not have won a 360 race yet. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of the developing class. Or it's like in the go-karts, it's like a sportsman class. There was a lot of older gentlemen in that just kind of wanting to get their racing fix in. So yeah. Maybe we didn't need him to be the third division in our race last night, but
Yeah, support divisions are really meant to just kind of get in and get out, like kill a little bit of time for the primary class. Maybe people go get a pizza or a beer, in and out, nonstop races, cross your fingers. But yeah, when you bring in a division that's going to continuously cause yellows and reds, that's not the right support. So
right. Yeah.
move on. Next topic. What else you
Yeah.
want to talk about?
You were watching High Limits kind of with at the same time we were, and there was an interesting call for
split yellow lap 1.
Right. So Lisa, you read the rules, so you should bring it up.
So it says that it's not a completed lap unless all cars minus the cars involved cross the line.
Like everybody, once the green flag waves, everybody kind of has to complete that lap for it to count. But then for this race, one car at the very end of the field flipped in turn 4. So technically every car made it except for him, but it was a red flag. So they usually always revert back to the lap before. Well, the lap before, there was no lap before. So we assumed that it was going to be, well, that start didn't count.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the original. But how Lisa read the rule, that is what they do. If everybody crosses the line and then the one car who's involved in the crash doesn't, well, then we're just going to disregard him and count whoever made it across the line. So
I listened to that rule and I kind of agree with it. If it's the last place car tipping over or crashing, that makes sense. But what if it's the 7th place car that spins out? Does 8th through last all got to drive by that guy?
So I don't think it would have been a split yellow. I think they just wouldn't have counted it. And like, I like it in the sense where that start counted. So if you gained or you made a mistake and went back, like nothing's going to save your butt and put you back in your original spot. Like whatever you did, you kind of earned, whether it was good or bad. And everybody crossed the line except for that one car. So let's count it. That's another lap. We're another lap closer to the finish of the race. Like
that's the old cycle land trick. Just count a lap. We got to get out of here.
Well, yeah, we raced to the yellow in go-kart. So that's
I told this story before, and I just love to bring up Lowell. But I remember I went to Cycland the first time, and I told him, I'm like, Lowell, this is insane. You can't race to the yellow. This is dangerous. He goes, Andy, if we didn't race the yellow, we'd never get out of here. And I went, huh, he's right. Race to the yellow, Lowell.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially when we were first starting a race, like we didn't have receivers or anything, so they'd have to get the chalkboard out and like line everybody up and got it. Even with receivers, it takes forever to get the go-kart kids to line up. So
apparently,
I can only imagine what it was like there before receivers. Holy crap!
Yeah, pretty much the same. It took forever. Yeah.
Oh well. So, okay, we haven't talked about your main event. Candace said you were doing really good, and then all of a sudden you weren't really doing good. What the hell?
I know. Yeah. So first off, yeah, so it started 8, and there's a little bit of moisture on the bottom 1 and 2, kind of nothing in 3 and 4 on the bottom. So you kind of had to rip the lip, kind of both sides. But I was talking to Burnell before the race. I said, man, I really like when non-wings are here with us because they tend to like blow through the cushion and then it like gets pushed up on the wall. So then the cushion kind of rides up on the wall. So it's not this like edgy curb that like you're going to hit. And if you get tight because you hit this big old curb, you're plugged into the wall.
Yeah.
It kind of rides up the wall so you can kind of lean on that. And it's
So
not as.
you like the BMX?
I do like
you
that.
like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a softer transition of a curb and doesn't really grab and bite you and then suck the car into the wall. Like you're kind of riding the wall instead of getting run into it. So, and that's exactly what happened. Like they put on an awesome A main before ours and kind of blew it up onto that wall. So you were kind of, riding up the wall to kind of gain momentum down. So
That's called
it,
Joey Chitwood. I don't like that shit.
that's why you don't race there
The
anymore.
Joey Chitwood Thrill Show. They ought to hire him to come freaking put on a show. Have Joey Chitwood go to Tulare instead of the 305s. That'll be the support class.
Yeah. Well, so and then got like you talked about Max Mitri. So he was there. He started inside me. I kind of went through the middle 1 and 2, held my own, but then I kind of stuck to the bottom too long. Bloomfield railed me, and then I was right behind Max kind of for a lap or two, and then he just slipped up in one just a little bit. I dove down in there, and once I got beside him, I thought, okay, I'm here. I'm in the good moisture. I'm going to run away from him. And right when I thought that, I clipped him. So ran over his front end. He goes to the infield, but then there's a red, the next corner with Neto and Kading. So yeah, so I monster trucked Max Mitri. First thing I did after the race was go beeline over to him, apologize. So Travis thinks somebody else got into him too, but I ran over his front end. His left front was flat. Like, yeah, I hate when
And
that
I
happens.
just sent you a video of you crashing
You
someone the other day.
just
from the
sent me
fair.
a video of kind of the same thing happening. So
Who was that? Who
maybe
did you
that's a
tip
thing.
over?
Was it Monahan?
No.
It was a
maybe-
blurry ass video. I could barely tell that it was me in the.
Oh, you knew it
red
was
2X
you. It
video.
was clear as day. Sean Becker just dumped this guy.
You know what line that reminded me of is our good friend Jimmy Truly line, because he kind of like turned late, got the car super sideways, and started coming down the track, and yeah, he turned right in the middle of the track. I drove down to the bottom, which was open, but then it closed up really quick, and we plowed into each other, and we.
It's called the high-low line. Now you see me, now you don't. High-low.
Yeah, so Andy sent me a video probably back in like 08 or 09.
Yeah, you were
me
were you in the 2SV?
I think so. It was a
Yeah.
blurry video. I couldn't tell, but I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
it
I was,
wasn't-
and I think it was Mike Monahan.
All right. Well, I think I'll resend it to you, and I want that on this download.
Don't do it, Allison. Your
Allison-
dad's a good driver, a good, responsible driver.
We got to state the facts on this show. And
I
if
know.
you've been running over fools, you need to take credit for it.
Well, I took credit, but I took responsibility to went over and apologize to Max. Like, I wish more drivers would do something like that. Say, hey, like this happened. I'll take responsibility for it. Like that was not my intent. Like I get the good feels whenever somebody comes up to me, even like if nothing like super bad happened, but just like talk to me about what happened. Like, hey, like I thought you were going to do this, but you did this. And then we kind of got together, like, even if nothing like bad happened, like nobody wrecked necessarily, but like, hey, I didn't intend for us to make
What
contact.
did you see? What did I see? Well, this is what, yeah, exactly. Most
Right.
of that's just adult stuff, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of people, like, after the race, like, unless they're going to another trailer to start a fight, like, they don't want to talk to anybody after a race. Like, they just want to change and get out of there. So, anyway, the main, so I think Shane Golovic fell asleep at the wheel during the choose cone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the very first choose cone came out, and like 3 guys in a row almost picked the inside. So I went to the outside. I gained like a row and a half or two rows almost, like, and at the last minute, like Shane tried to say, "Oh no, I wanted the outside," and he tried to move out there, and I got to his outside, and he slid down. But yeah, so that first one helped me out a lot, and then I would be able to sneak the bottom in the first lap of a restart of 1 and 2, and then get my butt to the top, and I got into fourth at one point. So like, and we were there with NARC back like last October, and I got second quick there and second in the main event, and all my passes were made kind of on restarts. I had really good restarts, and now I'm up in fourth, and I'm thinking, okay, this is good. Well, then another restart happens. I pick the outside, and you needed to be on the inside. That was only moisture down there, and especially down the front straightaway. Like it was so slick once you get kind of to the flag stand, like people just started yarding you on the inside. So I almost should have given up a row to start the inside,
Yeah.
and then make sure I'm on the bottom 1 and 2 on the next restart. So yeah, restarted fourth. I got my doors blown off. I almost like I think I'm like scared I'm gonna get slid on these crazy restarts,
Yep.
so I don't commit to the top. Now I'm not out in no man's land in the
Yep.
middle, and then people are blowing by me on the inside. So I fall to like sixth, I think. Landon Brooks comes passing me later. I did tag the wall once coming off a 4 down the front straightaway. And from then on, I was like in my head, I'm like, oh, I hear something. Like,
Oh yeah.
is something off? And then I wasn't making consistent laps after that, and I wasn't fully like talking to my crew chief after the race. So yeah, you just really got to commit to the high line, keep that car straight. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I thought I was thinking something's wrong with the car. Like now I'm in survival mode. Like let's just make it to the end, make it to the end. So yeah, fell back to seventh, but then I'm on the inside of the last restart, and I'm thinking, okay, Dom sells these right in front of me. I was hoping he was going to slide his guy and get to the top, and I was going to sneak around all of them. Well, he tried to stick the bottom, missed it, and held us up big time
Oh
in
shit.
1 and 2. So I get blown my doors off around the outside of another one. And immediately after, like it took rubber. So
Oh
then
shit,
like,
dude.
yes. So everybody's like, I felt like I was one of the first guys to find it in 3 and 4. And I was hoping, oh, all right,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found something. Like, and I was able to sneak by Andriotti. Um, and then we kind of had a little battle for a lap or two. But but yeah, once after that, everybody found it, and then it went from one corner to the next corner, and then it was just, yeah, everybody's in the groove, and no matter how I was trying, like, because it was so late in the race, I'm like, I don't think tire wear is going to be a
Yeah.
big deal, so I was pushing it pretty hard to try to get one more spot, but in the rubber, sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try, like you're just follow the leader at that
Yeah, because the
point.
guy in front of you knows the same thing. He's going just
Yep.
as hard. So how many
Yep.
laps did you guys race in the rubber?
Probably 8 or so, 8 to 10, maybe. Lisa thought it was more because that last restart, it was double file. So that has to be within 10. She's thinking like 12. Yeah, the rubber didn't come until like a lap or two in. So it was probably 10 to 12 laps. So yeah, unfortunate. But
305s. Eliminate the 305s. You
well, they
don't
were
take
the
rubber.
last main. So they were
Yeah,
main
but
after us.
the laps that they
But you're
put on
right.
hot lap in their heat races, that was just the number of laps that put that
Yeah.
over the edge.
And that's another thing about Tulare too is the track. They don't have a lot of water on it to begin with, so it hot laps real quick. We qualify real quick, but then they got to rework it. So there was a lot of time spent reworking the track a couple different times throughout the night. So yeah, talk about efficient shows too. And then there's not like usually like with the high limit stuff, they got something going on if they're reworking the track. Like they're trying to do some fan interaction stuff. And I think maybe with the NARC's text that they gave all the teams, like maybe that's kind of what they were alluding to also is like, hey, we could have done some more efficient things on our end. And then yeah, while they're working on the track, let's get out, greet some fans and sign some
Engagement.
autographs and
You
stuff.
got to keep people engaged. You can't just be like, here's race, race, race. Oh, now we're going to fart around for 25 minutes while these tractors go out there.
Right.
Whether it's frisbee tosses or I mean, I
We did.
personally don't want to go walk through the grandstands and meet and greet people. And I'm not saying that because I don't like the fans. It's just, that's not why I'm there. But in between races, after the races, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, as racers, we got to do something to engage people to want them to come back.
Yep.
I'm
And
going to beat this drum. I'm going to stand on this soapbox until I die, probably, or until something changes. But I care about the event. I care about the product, and it's got to be engaging and it's got to be short.
yeah, I think, and NARC, they're showing that they care too. And they are seeing the inefficiencies that's happening right now. But this is the second race in, and yeah, they see it. They want to improve too.
What did you
Andy,
think of
I
the crowd
the
last night?
picture I sent you of qualifying.
Yeah, I
Oh.
sent that picture to Woodhouse. I said, "What are we doing here? Come on." He said he
Travis.
needed to fire Faria. It was Faria's job. He goes, "Oh, we watered. I guess I'll fire Faria." I mean, you
Yeah.
know where these cars are gonna go. Flood that spot. God damn it.
Right when we got there, we're in the trailer and we're hanging out, and I'm with Travis, and he's just kind of bouncing off the walls, thankful to be out of the car for 3.5
Yeah.
hours. But then the water truck goes by and he's watering the pits. He's all, "What's the water truck doing? Shouldn't he be on the track?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, do you see how dusty it was when he was driving over? Like, you got to soak everything up." He's like, "Well, shouldn't they have done that a long time ago?" I'm like, "They did."
Yeah.
Like, it's so, and it was hot in Tulare. It was,
Was it?
yeah, mid 80s, I think. So, yeah. Like, I mean, it's not typical Tulare whenever we get there in June or whatever, but yeah, it was pretty warm.
Yeah,
So
but when you
sucked
look
that
on your
water up.
schedule and you go Tulare in March, you at least go, wow, at least we're not going to sweat our ass off for once down there. And
Yeah,
this has
but
been
we
a weird
still did.
spring.
Right. Yeah. But that's
Okay,
it, right?
that's it. I don't think I have any other tea. The tea was there was 2 fights at Marysville last night. I won't say who because I don't want to get somebody pissed off, but it's a red car with a 5 and a 7. I guess he was mad at who was he mad at the first time? I know he's mad at Carson Hall the second time, I guess, but
Mm.
it happens.
It's racing, man.
Yeah.
And you're at the blender, buddy. Stuff happens at the blender.
You know what was odd last night is we had what I would consider 4 Marysville cars at Placerville that
With
didn't
Howlett. Yeah. Yeah.
Alec, Arbogast, Koa Crane, and Derek Dravold were all at Placerville last night. Hallett and Billy Wallace. Billy Wallace didn't run Marysville last night, so like Hallett and Wallace, I think were up in points, so they both eliminated themselves. So I think Jaden Bunch, all he has to do is just not be an idiot and show up every week, and he'll win the championship at Marysville.
There you go. And it sounds like the same for you now. Nobody keeps showing up to Placerville. Everybody's going elsewhere. All you have to do is just show up.
Oh, Cox, I think is going to be there all year. Justin will be
Cox will be there all year. He'll be tough.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah, they have a motor issue. Like that's kind of
Yeah, they blew a motor up last night, right?
Not good.
That's the motor we just sold them.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. That was their second night on that motor. So that was our last open-headed motor. And so we sell them this motor, and I'm not going to say how much it was, but it was a lot of money. And it blows up the second night, which it shouldn't. I mean, we have good motors. Brian takes very good care of them. Paul don't screw around. If there's a question on, hey, we're freshening this motor, should we or should we not replace this? Yes, replace it. But yeah, they broke that motor last night. We were parked next to them, and I almost felt like we were more disappointed than them. Like we felt so bad that the motor we sold them. Josh was like obviously disappointed, but he wasn't like throwing shade our way or nothing. Justin wasn't throwing shade our way, and we were all like devastated. We could not believe that this motor we just sold him blew up the second night out. And it's funny, Justin stopped in turn 1, and I saw after they pushed him off, there was oil all over the racetrack, and I told myself, God damn, that has to be a rear end. Please be a rear end. Do not tell me that was the motor. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way it was the motor. Absolutely not did that motor blow up. Get in the pits, and I'm looking at them. They're working on the motor, and it was the motor. I'm like, oh my God.
Dang. Well, that's devastating.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm not to sound dramatic, like, oh my God, it's so devastating for me. Obviously, they're the ones that just blew up a motor they just purchased for a lot of money. They're the ones that should feel devastated. But
Yeah.
just from our point of view, I was changing. I looked at Brian. I'm like, Brian, I'm sick to my stomach about this. He goes, dude, I am too. I don't know what to say. Yeah. So that motor's going back to hot. There was a lot of piston parts that came up through the injection stacks and that were in the air box. There was major devastation with that motor internally.
Cool.
So maybe Wednesday at Chico, for sure Saturday at Placerville.
Yeah, it'll just be well, I guess it would probably just be you racing out of us two in Chico. But definitely see you in Placerville.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will be in Chico in 2 weeks, racing together on Friday, April 10th, and then we are going to do our drawing. Please keep liking and subscribing. Leave a comment for us, and you'll be entered in that drawing. It's the VIP passes to High Limit Placerville. But yeah, racing with Andy that Friday, and then he goes to Placerville to get another championship for himself, and then I'll be running NARC in Chico that Saturday. So
Good. I like it.
win number 4, Andy. Great job.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work, man.
Get your qualifying in order if they're only to have 3 heats every week.
You are right. You are right.
I guess like it's almost like we went to these like stretched out formats to make things easier for the cars. I think to myself like, fuck it, yeah, 3 heats, bang it out. And then I think as the competitor, I'm like, wow, kind of tough. Let's do 4.
Let's do 5. It'll help me
no
way
shit.
better.
Let's do 5 3-car heats. Take the top 2. Everybody makes the main.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's
All
a
right.
wrap.
Have a good weekend.
10-4. Thanks. Bye.
Peace.